Have you ever felt that strange tingling? That pins and needles feeling? Or perhaps a persistent numbness in your feet? It's a common complaint as we get older. And often, we just shrug it off as part of aging. Maybe you've mentioned it to your doctor, and they've talked about circulation, or maybe something more specific. But what if I told you that some of the very foods you think are healthy, even delicious fruits, could actually be making that numbness worse? It sounds surprising, doesn't it? We're always told to eat our fruits and vegetables. And yes, that's generally wonderful advice. But certain fruits, eaten in certain ways or amounts, can have a less than ideal effect, especially on sensitive nerves and circulation, which are often linked to that feeling of numbness or tingling in your feet. It's a painful reality for many that something as simple as enjoying a piece of fruit could be contributing to discomfort. But there's a secret to understanding which ones might be the culprits and why. In this video, we're going to uncover 6 specific fruits that you might want to reconsider or enjoy differently if you struggle with foot numbness. We'll talk about why they can be problematic and what you can do about it. Watch to the end, because I've got something that will surprise you. Something really important you need to know. Let's dive right in and talk about the first fruit that often makes the list when discussing blood sugar and its impact on our bodies, including those tiny nerves in our extremities, the humble banana. Now, bananas are packed with potassium and are often touted as a great energy source. And for many people, in moderation, they're perfectly fine. But here's where we need to look a little closer, especially if you're dealing with numbness in your feet, which is frequently a symptom of underlying issues like diabetes or poor circulation. Bananas, particularly ripe ones, are relatively high in sugar. When you eat a ripe banana, that sugar is converted into glucose in your bloodstream fairly quickly. For someone whose body struggles to manage blood sugar levels efficiently, which is quite common as we age, even if you don't have a formal diabetes diagnosis, you might have what's called pre-diabetes or insulin resistance. This rapid influx of sugar can cause a spike. High blood sugar levels are damaging to nerves over time. This damage, known as neuropathy, is a leading cause of numbness, tingling, and pain in the feet and hands. Think of it like this. Your nerves are like electrical wires sending signals. High sugar acts like corrosion on those wires, interfering with the signals. So, while one small, slightly green banana might not cause a huge issue for everyone, a large, very ripe one, especially eaten on its own, could contribute to blood sugar fluctuations that aggravate existing nerve sensitivity or damage. It's not about vilifying the banana entirely. It's about understanding its impact. If you love bananas, perhaps enjoy a smaller portion, or pair it with something that slows sugar absorption, like a handful of nuts, a spoon of nut butter, or some Greek yogurt. This helps to create a more gradual rise in blood sugar rather than a sharp peak. It's all about balance and being mindful of how different foods affect your unique body. Another tropical fruit that's a powerhouse of sweetness, and one we need to be cautious with if foot numbness is a concern, is mango. Oh, mangoes are delicious, aren't they? That's sweet. Juicy flesh just screams tropical paradise. They're full of vitamin C and A, which are great antioxidants. But just like bananas, mangoes are also incredibly high in natural sugars. A single medium-sized mango can contain well over 40 grams of sugar, sometimes even more depending on its size and ripeness. That's a significant amount, roughly equivalent to the sugar in a can of soda. Though the sugar in fruit is natural and comes with fiber in whole fruit. However, for someone managing blood sugar or nerve health, that much sugar hitting the bloodstream from a single source can be problematic. The fiber in mangoes helps a little, but the sheer volume of sugar means it can still cause a notable rise in blood sugar levels. Consistent high blood sugar, or even frequent spikes, can worsen inflammation and nerve damage, exacerbating those symptoms of numbness or tingling you feel in your feet. It's a cumulative effect over time. Eating a mango occasionally as a small treat might be okay for some, but making it a daily habit, especially eating a whole large mango, could definitely be working against your efforts to manage foot discomfort. If you enjoy mango, consider having just a small slice, perhaps as part of a meal that includes protein and healthy fats. which can help buffer the sugar impact. Or opt for fruits that are lower in sugar density. It's about making informed choices based on your specific health needs. Understanding the sugar content of fruits we commonly eat is a really important step in managing symptoms like foot numbness, because these symptoms are so often tied back to how well our bodies handle glucose. Moving from tropical delights to smaller, easy-to-pop fruits, let's talk about grapes. Grapes are sweet, refreshing, and full of antioxidants, particularly in the skin. They're often seen as a healthy snack. However, grapes are another fruit that packs a considerable sugar punch, and because they are small, it's incredibly easy to eat a large quantity very quickly without even realizing it. A cup of grapes contains about 15–20 grams of sugar, depending on the variety. While that might not sound astronomical on its own, how many of us stop at just 1 cup? A typical serving can easily be double or triple that. Especially when snacking mindlessly, this means you could be consuming 30, 40, or even 60 grams of sugar from grapes in one sitting. Similar to bananas and mangoes, this load of sugar can lead to significant blood sugar spikes. The sugar from grapes is absorbed relatively quickly. For individuals with nerve sensitivity or compromised circulation, these spikes can irritate nerves and potentially worsen numbness or tingling sensations. The effect might not be immediate, but over time, regular consumption of large quantities of high-sugar fruits, like grapes, can contribute to the progression of nerve issues. Furthermore, while grapes do contain fiber, the ratio of sugar to fiber is quite high compared to some other fruits. If you enjoy grapes, practice portion control diligently. Measure out a small serving, say half a cup, and savor them slowly. Pairing them with some cheese or a few almonds can help slow down the sugar absorption. It's these little adjustments that can make a big difference in managing your body's response to food and potentially alleviating symptoms like foot numbness. Continuing our exploration of fruits that might be secretly contributing to your foot numbness, let's consider another delightful but potentially tricky option: cherries. Cherries are beautiful, especially when they're in season, and they're known for their anti-inflammatory properties and antioxidants, particularly tart cherries. However, sweet cherries, the kind most of us snack on fresh, are quite high in sugar. A cup of sweet cherries contains around 18 to 20 grams of sugar, like grapes. They are easy to eat quickly and in large quantities. You can easily pop 20 to 30 cherries, or even more, while watching television or chatting, which can quickly add up to a significant sugar load. This influx of sugar can cause a rapid rise in blood glucose levels, which, as we discussed, can be detrimental to nerve health and circulation, especially for those prone to neuropathy or vascular issues that contribute to numbness. While the antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds in cherries are beneficial, for someone struggling with existing nerve symptoms, the sugar content needs careful consideration. The potential negative impact of the sugar spike on nerve sensitivity might outweigh the benefits of the antioxidants if consumed in excess. If you enjoy cherries, again, portion control is key. Limit yourself to a small handful, perhaps 10 to 12 cherries, and be mindful of how quickly you eat them. Pairing them with a protein source or healthy fat can also help mitigate the blood sugar spike. It's about finding a balance where you can enjoy the taste and some benefits without overwhelming your system with sugar. It's not about eliminating these fruits entirely from your diet, unless advised by a doctor, but about understanding their composition and how your body specifically reacts. Moving on to another fruit, often found in fruit salads or tropical mixes: pineapple. Pineapple is wonderfully refreshing and contains bromelain, an enzyme often associated with digestive benefits and reducing inflammation. However, pineapple is also quite high in sugar, especially canned or juiced versions. But even fresh pineapple contains a considerable amount. A cup of diced fresh pineapple has about 16 grams of sugar, like the other fruits we've discussed. Eating a large portion of pineapple can lead to a noticeable rise in blood sugar. While the fiber in fresh pineapple helps compared to juice, the glycemic index is still relatively high, meaning it can cause a fairly rapid increase in blood glucose. For someone whose nerves are already compromised or whose circulation is poor, this sugar spike can exacerbate existing issues and potentially worsen feelings of numbness. Tingling, or discomfort in the feet. It's another instance where a seemingly healthy food can have an unintended negative effect depending on your individual health status and the quantity consumed. If you enjoy pineapple, moderation is crucial. A small slice or a quarter cup as part of a balanced meal is very different from eating a large bowl of it as a snack. Pay attention to your body after eating different foods. Do you notice symptoms worsening? Keeping a food diary can sometimes help connect the dots between what you eat and how your feet feel. It's a personal journey of discovery to figure out what works best for you. Now, let's talk about a category of fruits that are perhaps the most concentrated source of sugar on our list: dried fruits. And let's use dried apricots as a specific example, though this applies broadly to raisins, dates, dried cranberries, dried mango, and so on. Dried fruits are essentially fresh fruits with the water removed. While this concentrates the nutrients, it also drastically concentrates the natural sugars. A small handful of dried apricots, maybe just a quarter cup, can contain over 20 grams of sugar. Because they are small and chewy, it is incredibly easy to eat far more than a single serving without realizing it. You could easily consume 40, 60, or even 80 grams of sugar from dried fruit in one sitting. Compare this to fresh apricots, where you'd have to eat several whole fruits with much more water and fiber to get the same amount of sugar. This high concentration of rapidly absorbed sugar is arguably the most problematic for blood sugar control among all fruit forms. The lack of water means the sugar is delivered to your system in a very compact package, leading to significant and quick blood sugar spikes. These spikes are particularly damaging to nerves and blood vessels over time, directly contributing to the worsening of neuropathy symptoms like foot numbness. While dried fruits do retain some fiber and nutrients, their impact on blood sugar makes them a frequent culprit for those managing diabetes or nerve issues. If you have numbness in your feet, dried fruits are often one of the first things healthcare professionals recommend limiting or avoiding entirely. They are very energy-dense due to the high sugar content, which isn't ideal if you are also trying to manage weight. Another factor that can influence circulation and nerve health. Instead of dried fruits, reach for their fresh counterparts. Enjoy a fresh apricot, a small bowl of fresh berries, or a piece of fresh apple. You get the fiber, the water content, and a less concentrated dose of sugar, which is much gentler on your system. It's a simple swap that can make a big difference. Understanding that the form of the fruit matters just as much as the fruit itself is crucial when thinking about managing symptoms like foot numbness through diet. These 6 fruits, bananas, mangoes, grapes, cherries, pineapple, and dried apricots representing dried fruits, are not inherently bad, but their high sugar content means they require extra consideration and careful moderation, especially if you are experiencing foot numbness or related nerve issues. So, we've talked about some of the fruits that, while delicious and seemingly healthy, can unfortunately make that bothersome numbness or tingling in your feet worse. We explored how fruits like bananas, mangoes, grapes, sweet cherries, pineapple, and especially dried fruits, because of their sugar content and how quickly that sugar gets into your bloodstream, can really challenge your body's ability to maintain stable blood sugar levels. And that stability is so vital for keeping your nerves happy and your circulation flowing smoothly. When blood sugar spikes frequently, it's like putting stress on those delicate nerves and the tiny blood vessels that nourish them, potentially worsening any existing damage or sensitivity that's causing your foot discomfort. It's not about fear-mongering or saying you can never enjoy a piece of fruit again. Absolutely not. Fruits are a wonderful source of vitamins, minerals, and fiber. The key takeaway here is awareness and moderation, especially with those fruits that pack a higher sugar load. Think about portion sizes. Instead of a whole large mango, maybe just a few slices. Instead of a big bowl of grapes, count out a small handful. Instead of dried apricots, reach for a fresh one. Pairing your fruit with something that has protein or healthy fat, like yogurt, nuts, or seeds, can also help slow down the sugar absorption and reduce that sharp spike. And critically, if you're experiencing persistent numbness or tingling in your feet, please talk to your doctor. Foot numbness can be a sign of various underlying conditions, like diabetes, peripheral neuropathy, or circulation problems. And getting a proper diagnosis is the first and most important step towards managing the symptom effectively. Diet is a powerful tool, But it's just one piece of the puzzle. Your doctor can help you understand the root cause and develop a comprehensive plan that might include medication, exercise, and other lifestyle changes alongside dietary adjustments. Don't try to manage this symptom with diet alone without knowing what's causing it. Remember, small changes can make a big difference in how you feel day to day and in your overall long-term health and happiness. Becoming more mindful of the sugar content in fruits, especially if you have underlying conditions that affect your nerves or circulation, is a simple but impactful step. It's about making informed choices that support your body and help you live more comfortably. Your feet are your foundation. Taking care of them is crucial for maintaining your independence and enjoying your activities. Don't let something as manageable as dietary choices contribute unnecessarily to your discomfort. Embrace the power you have to influence your health through what you eat. It's never too late to make positive changes. We're on this journey together, learning how to navigate the best ways to care for ourselves as we get older. Your experiences are valuable. Have you noticed any foods that seem to affect your foot numbness? Share your thoughts or questions in the comments below. It helps everyone learn from each other. If you found this information helpful, please give this video a thumbs up. It lets me know I'm creating content you find useful and helps other seniors find this information too. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel for more tips and insights on living your best life at every age. We cover all sorts of topics related to senior health, wellness, and happiness. And I'd love for you to be part of our community. Taking proactive steps, like being mindful of the fruits you eat, empowers you to take control of your health journey. Live your best life at every age